Hi everyone, we are going to start our first video homework. This one's on translating words into math. You should have the handout from today with you, as well as a pen or pencil. If you misplaced your handout, there's an extra copy you can download and print on Schoology. As you watch the video, try and follow along as best as you possibly can. If you need to pause the video at any point, that's not a problem. Okay, you may need more time to write something down than the video is giving you. On your handout, one side has all of the mathematical symbols and operations on it. The other side has a word bank and some practice problems underneath. The word bank looks like this one right here. Before we fill in our symbols, okay, because we want that side of the chart to be accurate, let's just look at the word bank. What I want you to do, and I'm going to have you pause the video, okay, because otherwise it'll go too fast, is look through and just mark up the word bank on what you think the symbol is that corresponds to it is. For instance, the word add in the middle, I think we can all agree that that goes along with addition. Or the word minus next to it, we can agree is subtraction. Take a second, pause the video, and see how many others you can fill in. It's fine if you can't fill in everything. Okay, I'm just going to mark off the ones that you should know. Okay, I'm going to start on the first row. Times the difference of, I'm not expecting anyone to know yet. Combined, we should know is addition. Quotient is division. Per is also division. I'm going to go to the next line, skip a couple, I'm going to do times. That's multiplication. I'm just going to slide over that row and talk about twice and half, those last two words that are there. If you have twice a number, you're essentially doubling it, which is multiplication. Now if you have half of a number, it still is multiplication, you're just multiplying by something less than 1. Okay, or it could be greater than 1 if it's a different fraction. I kind of gave you a hint on that next line there, so if you have half of a number, the key word there, of, is multiplication, and it doesn't have to be half. It could be 1/3 of a number, 1/4 of a number, 2/5 of a number, and so on. I'm going to skip around. Take away is subtraction, product is multiplication, and together are both addition. The next line goes with our equal symbol. More is addition. Divided by is division. Difference is subtraction. Increase by is addition. Decrease by is subtraction. Those are opposites. And equals is our equal sign. Those are the ones that I think you should have filled in. Okay, we're going to talk about the others in a second. If you need to, take a second, again pause, and jot down the correct answers. Okay, now in that word bank, there's a couple words that you might have said, oh, well, that's a subtraction word, but I didn't mark it off. Underneath your subtraction symbol on your other side of your sheet, there's something called turnaround words, and what that turnaround means is we're going to change the way it's written. Okay, so it does have to do with subtraction, but we're just going to be a little bit more specific about it. So for instance, if I were to ask you this question, what is 5 less than 7? You guys are saying, hopefully agreeing with me, that less than means to subtract 5 minus 7. However, this is incorrect. We want 5 less than 7, so that means we have to turn around those numbers to get 7 minus 5, which would be 2. Okay, so if I were to ask you what's 3 less than 4, hopefully you would know it's 4 minus 3, and the answer would be 1. Okay. So if I just go back to our word bank for a second, fewer is going to be subtraction, but I'm going to give it that turnaround symbol as well. Less than is what we just talked about, subtraction with the turnaround symbol. From, subtraction with the turnaround symbol. The last thing is parentheses words. Okay, this is something you may not have seen in the past. So let's just take a look at an example here. It says 3 times the sum of x and y. The key is when you need to use parentheses, you have to look for 2 different operations. So for instance, times, we said before, is multiplication. Sum is addition. Since we have 2 operations, we need to insert parentheses in order to separate them. So we have the sum of x and y, but we want 3 times that sum, so we put the 3 in front. Now you could also write it as 3 with some sort of symbol in there, the dot or the times symbol. Okay, but the way I have it on top here with the parentheses is going to be the best method for you to write it in this year. So going back to our chart again, we have two sets of parentheses words here. We have times the difference of, and we have twice the sum of. Okay, so what you should be doing now is taking all of these answers from the video here or from your own personal word bank on your sheet and copy them into the appropriate symbols. Checking homework tomorrow, I should see that the words are written inside of the symbols. Besides that, you should fill in the 10 sample problems that are there for you on your chart. Okay, so it looks like this. So for instance, if we look at number 1, it says the sum of x and 5. Over here, tell me how you would write that. One thing I want to point out to you about ones like number 2 and 3 and 4, when the word number appears, you can pick whatever variable you want. So you can use the letter n, you can use y, m, whatever you like. So for instance, 6 times a number, I'm going to use n for number, and that would just be 6n. Okay, and there are different ways to write multiplication. We'll go through all of the possibilities for correct answers in class tomorrow. So your homework is to have both sides of this sheet complete. Okay, and bring your calculators. You should have them on your desk first thing tomorrow.